Hello, ladies. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Sally, and thank you, Glencill.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. Thank you.
You are both welcome. Okay, Sally, please tell us, where are you from?
I am from the island of Hawaii, from the island, specifically the island of Oahu.
Wahoo. And you must be missing that beautiful island right now.
Yes, always. It's getting pretty cold here in California, and it makes me think about how I want to be in a warmer place like home in Hawaii.
Oh, I could imagine. And Glencill, where are you from?
Yes, Dr. Naval, I'm an island girl as well, and I'm from the island of Barbados.
Aha, very nice. But in your situation, where are you right now?
I'm currently in Barbados.
Ah, very nice. Excellent. So then, ladies, I'll ask Sally and then I'll have Glenn still answer a different question. But, Sally, why did you want to become a dietitian in the first place?
I wanted to become a dietitian because I felt that this was a great way for me to work in the medical field where I feel that I can make an impact on someone's physical life. But at the same time, I found me being registered a registered dietitian to be as a great way to also minister to other people and share my faith as well. So it was I think that this career and this field of study is definitely a great way. It's like a really perfect mesh of both faith and service.
Ah, so true. I agree. A great combination.
Mhm.
All right. And then, Glenn Sale, you're already a registered dietitian nutritionist. So why come back to school?
So, Dr. Naval, it's just a process for me of growth. I'm always keen on learning more, developing myself personally as well as a professional. So, this was just the next step for me. The next step in growing myself and building competencies as a nutrition professional.
Beautiful. Well said. Okay, so our episode today is entitled Why is the Dietary Ripple Effect Important? Well, actually, yes, is that the title? It's actually the dietary ripple effect. So, why is it important? We're going to talk about that. And let's see here. Ladies, this is an exciting topic because it's both for parents and how it affects children.
Yes.
So, yeah, the dietary ripple effect. I love that title. So, please tell me more about it.
Right. So the dietary ripple effect, that title actually comes from, it's a very cliche illustration, but it's a very illustration, like it's a very applicable illustration. So if for people who don't know what a ripple effect is, so it's when a pebble or a rock goes into the water and then it creates like these little waves or ripples. And so in the same with that illustration being said, I think we think that parents have that same impact or very similar impact. So the choices that they make in regards to nutrition or dietary habits, their choices or those ripple effects also affect the people around them, specifically their family and their children.
Yes. So that is definitely a perfect title for your episode. I can definitely see how it is a ripple effect from the parents to the children. Okay. Excellent title. Excellent choice. So then, why should parents and even guardians model healthy dietary practices?
Yeah, so Dr. Naval, if I can take this question,
Please
just as
do.
we was mentioning previously about the ripple effect, the children are actually influenced by the behaviors of their parents and guardians. So what we're saying is that parents and guardians should be mindful of this because whether they are aware or not, the children are actually being influenced by the types of dietary choices that they make. So if we can get our parents and guardians making healthy dietary choices, that will definitely impact on the type of choices that the children will make for the better, and ultimately have the potential of improving their health. So that's the reason for encouraging parents and guardians to model healthy dietary choices.
Oh, wow. Excellent. That is so spot on. And, when you say that, it reminds me that, you know what? Our children are our leaders of tomorrow.
Yes.
So it's so important to be training them well at the get go. So, what are some of the dietary practices that parents and guardians should be considering modeling today?
Yes, one of the dietary practices that parents and guardians should consider following or modeling for their children today is this nutrition guide called My Plate. So, My Plate is a nutrition guide that's created to help people make healthier food choices and form nutritious and balanced meal. So, for people who do not know what My Plate is, in the past, the current My Plate now was the food pyramid. So if you recall what the food pyramid is, it's a pyramid or a triangle that has tiers or levels of how the food groups should be distributed or in the quantities that we should eat. So at the bottom of the pyramid, it's a lot larger. So within that tier or within that level, there's the whole grains and starches. And above that are the fruits and vegetables. And above that will be the proteins such as fish, milk, dairy, meat products. And then at the tippy top of the pyramid, which have smaller portions of servings, are the fats, sugars, oils, and sweets. Now, with the My Plate, it's similar with the same food groups, however, it's in the plate form. So, in the bigger plate, it's divided into fourths with the vegetables and whole grains that have slightly larger proportions than the fruits and the protein. And off to the side of the bigger plate is a smaller serving or plate of dairy. So this picture guide of My Plate is not only for children, but it's also for parents and guardians as well.
Yes, everybody can benefit by
Yes.
using
Mhm.
that plate. Very good. So, I'm going to take it on a personal level. How did your parents or upbringing influence your own childhood nutrition?
Glencill, would you like to share your
Okay, yes,
experience?
definitely. Thank you, Dr. Naval, for asking that question.
Hmm.
I still enjoy many of the foods that I grew up eating. Um, Unfortunately, for some of those foods that I grew up eating, they were not the most nutritious foods. So because of my exposure to nutrition, my training in nutrition, I've been able to modify some of the recipes and make them healthier choices, as well as the influence. Some of my family members as well will have influenced me in negative ways and some in positive ways.
Mm.
So I would say that every parent or every child would not have the experience that I've had to be trained in nutrition and dietetics and be able to make that change on their own. Thus, the majority of persons would not have the training that we have, this professional training. That's the reason why we want parents and guardians to be aware of the dietary guidelines that they're supposed to be following, so that even though the children would not be exposed as we are exposed to this vast knowledge, that they will still have those basic um, recommendations in place. They will still be able to follow those guidelines. So back to the question that was asked, I got a bit carried away, but
It's all good. I love it. I love it. Go
yeah,
on.
so I definitely was influenced. I still enjoy many of the foods that I ate as a child. I still enjoy many of them, but as I said, I have learned to modify some of those recipes so that they're healthier recipes. As far as my children are concerned, it's the same thing. They are learning from me, and it's the same principle. And I will be transparent whenever they're exposed to an influence that's not the most positive one. I can see the change, and then so definitely those changes can occur based on the person or persons who've influenced the children. It could be positive or it could be negative. And our aim is to make those influences positive ones.
Mm,
May I also share my experience as well?
please
So
do.
I'm not a parent, but based on my upbringing, my personal upbringing was more influenced on trying to retain and appreciate my Filipino culture. So I remember enjoying eating like the Filipino dishes that had meat, but when it came to the vegetables, I would have the longest time eating them and I would try to secretly throw them away. But what changed my mindset
Mhm.
about nutrition is that my parents and also my other family members, they would tell me in very like short simple terms to why I should eat my fruits and vegetables. So for example, my parents would say, you know why we need to add garlic to our food? It's because garlic helps you to not get sick. Or like, you should eat your mungo beans because they make you strong. But then what they really meant to say is that when they use the word strong, they're saying that the beans had nutritional value to help me be strong. It had the protein, the fiber, the antioxidants. And as for garlic, it could help me not be sick because it had antibiotic like properties. So, based on my experience from my upbringing, I think that not only does giving your child what to eat is part of being an influence on your child's nutrition, but also when they're at the age of understanding the why, I think giving them the reason why to eat certain foods for a healthier, nutritious lifestyle is part of that influence on the childhood nutrition.
I love that. Also providing them with the why.
Mm-hmm.
That empowers them and you're educating them too. It's
It
almost
does.
like, okay, don't touch the stove. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. And but you don't say why and it's like sometimes it makes them want to touch it more. But if you say you will hurt
Right.
yourself, then then it makes the child go, "Ooh, I don't want to get hurt." Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
some kids will still do it anyway. But yeah, even with food, I love that. Providing the why. Great. So my next question is this. What if they are on a low income budget in this COVID-19 pandemic situation? Any tips that you have to navigate financial challenges?
Yes, Dr. Naval, I'll take that question. Now, if a person is on a low income, that is really not a prescription for a poor diet. And basically, I want to get that information out there because there's still options for persons who are on a low income. And we have a recommendation that we give, the 3 Ps, just to help you remember: plan, prepare, as well. Let me take it in order: plan, purchase, prepare. So basically, we would want to encourage those persons to have a plan. Each person is going to be different. Their income is going to be different. The amount of money they set aside. So no two persons are going to basically be alike. So have a plan.
Yeah.
So we're going to look at the foods that are available. We're going to whether some persons may even have things growing in their backyard. Some will have some in their cupboards. Some may have food pantries that they can access and so forth. And we want to encourage persons to utilize those options,
Mm,
include those options within the plan. So as you plan, you include those. But then we know that there are probably going to be some foods that would need to be purchased. So then we look for those low cost options. Low cost foods would be those foods that are in season, those fruits and vegetables that are in season, and then some very good sources of protein: the legumes, the dried peas,
Mm-hmm.
beans,
yeah.
nuts could also be a source of protein. It's a bit high in fat, but definitely they could be included in control amounts. But definitely those dried peas and beans, those are low cost and more affordable foods. And then, as I mentioned before, those foods that are in season. The whole grains too. You'll find those whole grain foods like the oats and the barley. Those kinds of options could be incorporated. Rice, those kinds of options. So we want to include low cost foods. We want to include those seasonal foods, and definitely make use of the foods that are available. So what's the next step? The person should be looking to plan those meals, plan them out, plan out those meals using those low cost options. And once that meal is planned for the week or whatever period they've chosen for, then we have to make that grocery shopping list. You know what happens sometimes with us? We make a list and we don't follow it, but we want to stick to that shopping list. We probably all experienced that, but we want to stick to that shopping list, remembering that that list was made up based on all of those steps that we followed before. And we
Correct.
go through, yeah. So these are a few steps, and there's some other steps in grocery shopping, like label reading and comparing labels, similar labels, and making the best food choice for the price. It's not really making the cheapest choice. We're still looking for wholesome foods, but we're reading those nutrition facts labels and we're making the best food choice for the price. I'm encouraging persons to cast your eyes below eye level, look below at those shelves
Oh,
below.
right.
Many bargains are on the lower shelves. So
Yeah.
we're encouraging persons, be encouraged. You can still make it even if you're on a low income. And
Amen.
lastly, once you've purchased those foods, we want persons to remember, if you prepare foods at home, you're going to find that you're making many savings compared to purchasing ready prepared foods and having to eat out a lot and so forth. So that's the three P's:
Yeah.
plan,
Wow.
purchase, and prepare. Those are three P's for persons on a low income in this COVID-19 pandemic period.
Amen. Plan, purchase, and prepare. Love it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
So, outside of this interview, our discussion, our conversation, what are you doing to enhance work in this particular area, ladies?
Yes, to understand more about how nutrition education makes a big impact on parents, Glencill and I, we are doing a research project for our master's year based on parent nutrition education.
Oh, fabulous. So, what is involved in your research project that you are undertaking?
Mhm. Yeah, so involved in this research project is a 4-week nutrition education program. It's school supported with one of the school districts here in California. And along with these nutrition education lessons comes with a food demo and also educational handouts in regards to the nutrition lessons. And what's really amazing about this is that we're having the opportunity to translate our education lessons,
Yeah.
food demonstrations, and handouts into Spanish. So
Whoa.
it'll be a bilingual
Oh,
research study for the parents.
I love it. Way to
Yeah.
go, lady.
Dr. Naval, if I can add, we're
Yes.
so excited about this project because we're looking forward for this project to be a successful one.
Mhm.
And this project can reach so far because even after we are finished with our research study, this project could be utilized by the school district that we are working with, even after we've completed
Oh
this.
my.
And many parents can benefit from this program for for the future. So that's why we are putting such effort into this planning process, getting our PowerPoint presentations ready. We're working hard on those food demonstrations, trying to make sure that this 4-week nutrition education series is one of the best
Ah,
nutrition education series that we can ever have.
yes,
Mhm.
you go, ladies. I love that. So, last but not least, what outcomes are you anticipating with your project?
Yeah, so as we mentioned, we're hoping that this nutrition program could be replicated by not just the school district, but by also other professionals as well who would like to utilize our online nutrition education program, but we're also hoping to see that the parents will have a positive increase in nutrition knowledge as well as positive behavioral changes in regards to making nutrition habits, and also that they will also affect the children's dietary habits as well. We want to be sure that the children are, as you mentioned, can they will be the leaders of our future, and so we want to be sure that our the children of our future are in the healthiest shape and also making their best choices as well.
Oh, that is amazing. And you know what? I love the smiles that come across your faces as you are sharing your project, because I know that both of your hearts are really into this. You're both so passionate about it, and it is so exciting that not only will you be influencing the parents, but also the children. So not just one group, but two groups right there, two generations. That's exciting.
Yeah, and Dr. Naval, when I think about it, I sit here and I'm reflecting. My parents did the best that they knew.
Amen.
Some
Yes.
of the influences that I've had, they came down from generation to generation. They did what they knew best. And as I said before, some of the things that I ate growing up were very good for me. And then some of the foods were not prepared in the best way, but they did what was best.
That's
So
right.
we are trying to pass on now to that future generation, encouraging parents and guardians to make the best food choices that they can make. And we know that this
Hmm.
effort is going to be a successful one.
Oh, I just love that so much. It's whole person care. We are
Definitely.
taking care of the parents now and our generation, our next generation that's growing up. And yes, you know what? We are grateful for our parents, and they know what they know because of what was passed on to them. And
Mhm.
because we have more knowledge now, we're going to continue to refine that and share that with the parents of today.
Mhm.
So kudos to the two of you. God bless you as you see this project to its fruition. And we're also excited as to how this will turn out. Thank you, ladies, so much for being here today and sharing your time so that others will know about what to do, the three P's in eating well, even on a budget, and then also to know about your project. Thank you, ladies.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
for
much,
having
Dr. Noble.